Don't look under the internet.
Record.
11, 10.
11 1T1.
We're not doing an Andrew WK.
Freecreditreport.com.
Is that what-
Seeing it coming at me like? You know what else is stuck in
Like
my
a
head?
big old dong. What?
You know what else gets stuck in my head? The Education Connection.
Oh my gosh.
Education Connection. Match me with the right college for free.
I wonder what she's up to.
Who's to say?
What do you think she's
Do
doing?
you think you could write jingles?
No.
Mike would be great at that.
I don't know if I'd be able to do it.
Yeah.
How about we
I
do an
appreciate
I feel
episode?
like maybe you missed your
How
call.
about we do a
Yeah.
one-off episode where we just feed Mike prompts?
I did actually do that in
Yeah, just business ideas and then be like, make a jingle for this.
Yeah.
in my I actually, funny enough, in high school in our woodwork class, they had us design these puzzles, and each, like, it was like a 2-person team, and each team, they were supposed to come up with like a business name and a business like slogan for that name, and like a logo and everything. And I did ours, and then
Chachi's. It keeps your feet fat.
yeah, that was it. I did ours, and then I did like 3 other kids.
What
because they just couldn't come up
what
with
was the
anything.
class?
It was wood shop. Funny enough, because we made these little wooden puzzles, and the guy was like, "Make a little logo and a business thing.
Make
for
a
'em too.
business.
Fuck it."
I'm going to take all these ideas and I'm going to do them.
So it was pretty fun. But I did.
work as a wood shop
I
teacher
might have
anymore.
had a profession in jingle work.
Did you say
if
that
I would've
you
pursued
like?
it.
Did you
Is that
did you pass your wood class?
No, it wasn't hard. It was too hard.
I knew there was a joke there somewhere. Fuck. Welcome to Don't Look Under the Internet.
Holy shit, when was the last time you introed us?
I don't know.
Let's go.
Wow.
Hey,
Right now.
we're here. Nailed it.
Jason.
Hello.
Hey.
Welcome, everybody, to Don't Look Under the Internet. We are an internet horror comedy podcast, and
Nope,
we
nope,
exist
nope.
on so many different things. We are here today
Pros.
to bring you a very important
Goodbye.
message. Mike, what is
Mike-
that message?
That
Mike
I'm Mike
died in a
and
car crash.
that's
Oh,
Doug.
Shit. All right. Well,
Everybody's fucking it up. That wasn't important. Mike's supposed to be dead. Matt, what do you have for us? Technical difficulties.
I don't-
Got it.
I don't
it's
know if
it's
you-
the screen blacking out
Yeah.
and coming back, which is so perfect.
He's not gonna know what happened until he sees the finished product, and that's gonna be great.
Woo!
Last week, you guys might remember, we brought you part 2 of the Field Studies Institute, where we went over a bunch of different logs. We ended with the most recent excerpt from something that we have found to be called The Garden,
Woo.
which are these extraction logs that are conversations between either Hallie and Claude, which is an AI that you can find on a certain Netscape website, or the most recent one being Reese and Claude. And honestly, all we found out about that is that Claude's a dick.
Claude is a dick.
There's a bunch of these different
Indeed.
these little fucking items.
Confirmed.
Think like SCP or Warehouse 13. We have these transient objects that have been showing up, and we have this institution, the Field Studies Institute, who has been kind of logging these, keeping track of them, trying to explain where they came from, what they are, which universe they came from.
Where they went, where they go.
Yeah.
Cat night. Deviation.
Words. So what's on the docket today for episode 3 of our 9-part series?
Of our 9, so after I've introed this, we're gonna go ahead and start off with Asheville Hugs
Actually-
Part 5.
Okay.
So there is a countdown for part 3 that is currently at 14 days, 3 hours, and 24 minutes. So by the time we're ready to put out
Oh God, we could just jump
another
right back
episode,
into.
we could just jump back into part 4, baby.
I don't know how accurate that is, though, because that countdown has been on 14 days, I think, for a minute now.
Well, it's a good thing a day is longer than a minute, Mike.
Damn.
Damn.
Also, you're probably wondering, where's the housekeeping? We're recording this back to back part 2.
Nope,
so
this
if
is a different
you
day.
became
Don't
a
let him lie to
patron
you.
or anything,
No.
sorry, you'll get shouted out next week.
Your name's bad.
The Doug Blanket statement exists. But yeah, after I think we left off last time after Claude and Reese had a hearty exchange. We learned some stuff about the Moonshot Motel. We tied some things together. Hopefully we'll tie the rest of them together, or a lot more of them here. But today we are going to start off with the technically third section of the Field Studies Institute. I don't know, fucking database.
Fucking database.
And it's not
fucking
fucking me.
database.
I'm not talking about this. Who's got this?
Yeah,
Matt.
Actually,
I'm talking about.
Also,
this
I take it back.
motherfucker.
Not my chair. Not
There
my
wasn't
problem.
a counter before. It said in progress.
Yeah, now
you're
it's
right.
Now it's a
You're
counter.
right.
Yeah.
I remember that now.
I refreshed the page and it picked up right where it left off. So I'm thinking maybe
When that
we
hits
are-
Oh,
zero,
shit.
we're getting some more Field Studies Institute
I'm
items.
come.
I'm gonna send him an email.
Oh, we did that. Did you hear anything back?
No.
Pluto will finally finish.
Okay. Well, Matt,
Anyway, can I do my part
I
now?
fucking guess.
I'd prefer if you just shut the fuck up.
Okay, fine.
Breathe heavily into the mic for 43
Leaves.
minutes.
You fucking do your part then.
You figure it out.
All right, so this is part 083951 Wax Hyperion.
Shut up, Doug.
All right. So we did part 1 of part 012 last week, and this week we're doing part 2. And part 1 of part 2.
My
Nobody's
brain
lost.
hurts.
Part 1 of part 2, which is in part 3 of our series on this website.
This is labeled,
Is-
unfortunately.
043292 analog gravitation. And hold on, because I've accidentally locked my cat inside the room and I need to let her out.
That's fine.
I did see her do a big fat shit in the back.
Why are you doing this?
Why
Is
not?
The viewfinder?
Yeah. Just having fun.
Just doing a little LOL.
Okay. Crisis averted.
Hooray.
Christ has been averted.
No.
Avert the Christ.
We are all godless now. 043292 analog gravitation. And what this is Viewmaster Sound with Image Reel. And it is one of those little slide viewer thingies.
A Viewmaster.
Those discs that you stick in a thing and then you click the button and it spins around and you can look through the little view.
Except this one's
port
got
thing
a
and you can see-
face-facing speaker.
A face speaker. Yeah. Anyway, so the American Silver and Film Company produced the Viewmaster sound throughout the 1980s in the
Redacted.
of
Redacted.
There you go.
the relationship to the Viewmaster line produced by the General Analine and Film Corporation in local spacetime is unknown, as no other documents or materials related to the American Silver and Film Company have ever been discovered. So this object was not discovered at its time of transience, but many objects are detected at their time of transience but arrive in a location where they cannot be retrieved.
Wow.
While those arrivals are logged, it is impossible to know the nature of the object. The contents of this object certainly confirm its transient nature, but it was discovered by a field recovery technician while shopping at a thrift store with his wife and children. So this motherfucker just went to Goodwill.
I
and was
fucking-
like, hey,
I dream
fucking
of
weird.
this shit.
Yeah.
I go
Yeah,
thrifting
that's
all the time.
exactly-
I'm like, I'm gonna buy something haunted. I'm gonna buy something from the future.
Well, there,
I'm
to
gonna
be
buy
fair,
something from.
to be fair, there's supposed to be a haunted object in this room right now,
There sure is.
but there fucking isn't.
Can we get in chat right now? Can you just say F Lori? Is that appropriate?
No, it was mostly me. I mistaken what she said.
I found a
Okay.
broken keyboard. I bought a broken keyboard, but shit, it was from another dimension. Anyway, So this digital slide viewer has been created to view the contents of the image reel found inside the ViewMaster Sound Transient object. While using the digital slide viewer, you may click or tap to move the object to the next image. So what you get here is you get the actual slides that are on the little wheel that goes in this bitch. And if you click through them, you get a picture of Apollo 24 hanging out in the atmosphere. You get a view inside of the NASA Operations Center. You get a rocket lifting off and a picture of a car. A picture of the Moonshot Motel itself.
Oh,
with
finally.
a car parked outside. A picture of a house. Which I'm sure the house has some sort of significance that I'm not.
It's got a
putting
big
together,
ass
but,
tower in the back.
Oh,
okay.
I think I know what that is.
And then you get a picture of the moon and a circled section that says location of the Bailey crater, which I guess is the location of a moon base.
And I think that's where that weird anomaly that the photograph was taken took
Yes.
place.
Yeah. The craters give it
that
away.
makes sense. That makes sense.
Is that something in the first one?
Yes. It was Surveyor.
Yeah,
Surveyor
so-
3 mission. Basically saw an anomaly on the moon, surveyed a bunch of shit on the ground. There was a map of craters and other stuff, and then there was a big, big blinding light.
Sick.
Now you're all caught up.
Neato. Yeah, so that's basically it. It's a viewfinder with a speaker on the front of it, and so it plays those little slides, and they have sound. And if you go to the website, you can hear the sound that goes with them, and it
Pretty good
explains it.
sound.
The next thing in part 2.3 is employee log 09. And you guys are going to have to stick your shit in your VLC player because I still haven't gotten mine.
Yeah, Mike.
not my fault.
Well, don't hire DHL.
It fell off the side of a river.
Yeah, it fell off the side of a river.
That's not my
That
fault.
sounds like it might be your fault. Oh, whatever.
I was told
Okay,
it
just
was reliable
can you
transportation.
put the tape in.
Does that work?
Ovando, this is so crazy.
What is it? I've never heard of this place till now.
My dad.
My dad told me.
My dad. He was always a super nerd, always into gadgets and tinkering with shit. One day during the summer when I was a kid, 10 years old maybe, I was outside playing something with this boy that lived across the street. Naturally, I found a strange pleasure in torturing this kid because, well, I really liked him, I guess. Anyway, I hear this distinct, unmistakable yell of my mother that somehow navigated its way through the neighborhood, like she knew exactly how to make it reverberate and echo and zigzag its way, bouncing off every house right into my ears. That means I need to be home, stat. So I race home on my bike through the swarms of lightning bugs and mosquitoes, walk through the front door, and there's my dad in the living room, setting up whatever his latest contraption is. It's a computer, our first one. He was so excited about it, he spent almost every night that summer teaching me how to use it, so by the end of summer, I thought I was hot shit, techno wizard or something. Have you ever heard of BBS? Have you? It's like the precursor to the internet.
Booty slapping.
Big booty slapping. Precursor of the internet. My dad was a part of all those BBS servers for stuff that he was into. Music, especially. BBS! Drizzy! He followed this one. Shit, I can't remember the name of it. I'm really rambling here. Anyway, there's this whole thing with that BBS. The guy that started it, he went missing. His car was found in Ovando. I'm hazy on the details. This is a long, long time ago. I'm shocked I can even remember any of this. I think that was one of the first times in my life I realized that bad things can happen to people. I guess it sort of stuck with me. There you have it. It's a good tape.
Sick.
You have it.
Sick.
So, thanks for playing that.
Of course.
Interesting stuff. The next thing.
Weird how she said
is-
BBS Drizzy and not BBL like the song goes, but that's okay.
It's a deviation. There's
Different
the
timeline.
correlation to our own Drizzy
Yeah.
is unknown.
Yeah, you're right. He's not a pedophile everywhere, I hope.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Allegedly.
In some places, he's like super into.
Is
coke.
that unless that's like the thing that never changes between each dimension? Like he's just a pedophile. like-
Allegedly.
in one he's white and like is like a metal musician, and one, but he's always a pedophile.
Yeah.
always, every time.
Next one is fielding array. So this is the minutes of Project Soma Session 1. These meeting minutes were taken during the first working session of Project Soma, a special access program created by the Department of Defense. The meeting took place on December 1st, 1969, just 7 days after Dead was delivered to Merritt Island, Florida. Procedure. This is not a transient object. However, this item contains references to
Redacted.
and is therefore included in the archive as requested. No further procedural information is available. And so we have a picture of these the these
Meeting notes.
minutes. Yeah, and we got some participants: Arthur Reese, Alex
Yeah, man, you got it.
Amelia Haydock, Matilda Remlinger, Dorothy Ross, Carlos Scharf, Todd Tilzer, and Alan Trenchard.
A lot of these names should sound familiar because these are like the founding members of the field studies.
Oh yeah, and there you'll recognize at least one of those names from the extraction logs we've been talking about.
Reese!
Yep.
Reese. So meeting. The meeting was officially opened at 8:04 a.m. Dr. Arthur Reese, the director of the newly created program Project Soma, provided contextual information regarding the Surveyor and Apollo programs. This historic nature of the events leading to this gathering were not lost on Dr. Reese. He described the findings of the Surveyor 3 mission, what officials named LBA-01, short for Large Bright Anomaly. The subsequent manned Apollo 12 mission to the Surveyor 3 landing site found an object much smaller than expected, and the mission objective to retrieve the object was deemed possible. It was a success. LBA-01 arrived on Earth on November 24th and has been housed in a clean room at a facility on Merritt Island. Since its discovery, there has been no human contact with the object until Dr. Reese viewed it approximately 1 hour before the start of this meeting. Dr. Reese informed the group that what they would come to observe that day may be inspiring and create a deep desire for power and knowledge. He also informed the group that it could create a sense of discomfort, anxiety, and existential dread. It was made clear that the true progress would come only when these two extremes were balanced, that fear would inhibit them, and a desire for power could destroy them. The group breaks for coffee and refreshments at 8:35 a.m. Upon their return, individuals proceed to introduce themselves and their academic professional backgrounds and dossiers are attached to this memorandum.
Redacted.
And then there's a bunch of shit that's, blacked out.
Redacted.
Hella redacted. Yes. At 9:58 a.m., arrangements were fulfilled to bring the individuals to
Redacted.
where LBA-01 is quarantined. So basically what we got going on here is Dr. Reese, who is the guy who was punching shit into his computer upstairs or whatever the fuck, and then that kid knocked on the door, took a gander at this object and was like, hey, this is going to change the world, basically. Or you, or your brain, or something.
Change something.
Something's gonna
It's
change.
gonna change things.
Something will get fucked.
And then a bunch of stuff was redacted, and they were all like, hey, let's go fucking look at it.
After coffee,
After coffee.
Yes, after God.
obviously. Obviously.
Abstract cartography is the next thing.
Ooh.
So, Facilities, Resources, and Contacts, 1991 edition is what this thing is. And it is just a, kind of looks like a
A
folded up
CDOT
map.
map.
Yeah. So, within
Redacted.
the early 1990s saw a rapid decline in public sentiment towards government spending and private investment into space-related objects. The Center of the Decommissioning of Off-Earth Technology, or CDOT, was a government program that actively worked to close both public and private space-related facilities and prevent the further use of already decommissioned facilities by the civilians. Formerly known as Horn Silver, Gold Point was once home to many gold mining operations, but after the population collapsed due to the end of mining operations during World War II, it's now considered a ghost town. While the area still had some residents, when this transient object arrived, the field recovery technician assigned to its collection had no issues retrieving it. And it is a map.
That do be
It
a
has
map, man.
of an exclusion zone.
It shows you where they are in Florida, which is super nice.
Yeah.
If you were wondering.
That covers a lot more than
And
I
that's-
thought when before seeing this. So earlier when I was like, no, that's not where
Yeah,
I'm
it's
going.
It's whatever.
It is for
It's
sure.
the whole area where you're going.
All of Florida.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
It's just
Pretty much.
just Florida.
Whole Atlantic coast.
Exclusion.
And then the next
Florida.
thing is another fucking tape. So
Play that
Oh,
tape.
God.
Shove that shit in
Oh
there.
God, we gotta find
spin
it.
that
Hold on.
record, DJ.
This? No. No.
Yep.
Oh, that's it. Okay, you ready?
Play the tape.
Okay.
Ashford, March 7th, 2024. God damn it. God damn it. If I fill out one more of these forms this week, I'm going to absolutely lose my shit.
What happened?
That old toy, the eye thing with the pictures, and you know what? I'm talking about it. There's interference on it.
Oh, the ViewMaster. I used to play with those when I was a little kid. You're kidding. I guess I was skipping through it, and I just didn't notice.
Buddy, skipping through things doesn't work here.
Yeah, I'm learning that. Listening now. So, what do you think about all this?
All what, sugar?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe the disembodied voices we hear on cassette tapes? Phone calls from who knows where? Not to mention the copy machine on the second floor.
Honestly, the only thing that I think about now is how annoying Form 17 is. So why don't you fill this one out, my friend? If you were paying attention, it would have been on you anyway. And while you're at it, tell me this. What do you think all this is? Does any of this actually matter? We clock in, we work, for what feels like 8 hours, but because of some weird time dilation nonsense, only 7 hours and whatever minutes have passed. So that's how much they pay us when we go home. These voices don't follow you home in the morning, do they? Just leave it. Stop giving a shit. Fuck
I'm not gonna
off.
lie, that's a great way to look at things.
I punch in, I punch out. I don't care. This is a paycheck. This isn't. I don't.
So
Shit ain't my problem.
You don't hear the voices on your drive home, just when you're here, and
Yeah.
you shouldn't remember that.
The real question is, do they get paid 8 hours or are they getting paid
They
time?
paid 7 hours and however many minutes
That sucks.
because technicalities.
Mm.
But what if the time deviates?
What if the time deviates, Mike?
What if their salary?
What if their salary, Matt?
What salad?
What if
What salad?
what if they die? I'm
oh
hungry.
my God.
I'm hungry.
The next thing
not.
is
Me too.
Broken Trials. So it's a poster.
Ooh,
The Bailey Planetarium
it looks
poster.
like a
And-
moon plane.
Moon plane.
That's exactly what
main.
it is. It is a moon plane. It is a picture from the perspective of the moon, and there's a plane flying off of it, flying towards Earth. So basically, the Bailey Planetarium was a tourist destination at the Bailey Station, if you remember the crater that we talked about earlier.
Oh, yeah.
A large moon base operated by the International Organization of Space Exploration and Technology. The base was largely something I don't really understand this of. Do you guys understand what's going on?
The base was,
Largely of by the United States and the Soviet Union as a demonstration of unity following the signing of the Parnu Peace Accords.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I remember
Arriving
that.
in
it's
Boneville.
hair new. I recently learned how to.
Yeah, brother.
I recently learned how to pronounce umlauts, and I'm excited to show that off.
okay.
He's like, I don't fucking
That'll
care.
really help you when you're 9 to 5.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
When I run into that German patient that needs to express what they mean via umlaut, I got it.
You're not
That umlaut is the difference between taking out his knees and his testicles, right?
You know, there are some words in German like that. So don't get your umlauts
that's
wrong.
unfortunate.
Knees and
How does
testicles
anybody get anything done correctly in
the difference
German?
between a parnu and a parnu.
is testicles and
you
knees.
think the whole Nazi thing was just like a wild
I
misunderstanding?
said juice. I said juice.
That's
Never
where the
bring me
umlaut-
juice.
That's where the umlaut does come
Yeah.
into play.
And Hitler was just like, "Fuck, I really got myself in deep. I guess I just gotta go."
Commit.
on."
Commit to the bit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Everyone seems to be behind it. I guess I'll okay.
Wow, a lot of these guys are really about what I just said. All right, well, let's go for it.
Yeesh.
I'm terrible enough.
Back to this poster. Arriving in Boneville, Georgia, in June of 2002, this transient object entered local space-time within the Boneville United Methodist Church during a church service. Attendees of the service, who were judgment, described the object floating down from the apex of the ceiling during the singing of "He Is Exalted." So yeah, it is. It's what it is. It's a fucking
They're
poster.
singing a song about O.J. Simpson.
Is
Am I right?
Ah,
God damn it.
Did y'all just high five OJ?
I think that's what just happened. I just didn't realize
That was
it
also
until
a wild
after.
misunderstanding.
I don't know where we fall
No,
on
no,
the line
I
of
said
things
if
anymore.
the glove does not fit, I did it. That's what I said.
Yeah, if I did it.
Can you imagine writing a book called "If I Did It"?
Yeah.
That's ballsy. It's fucking
No,
ballsy.
that's you know what you have. That's what that is. You know what you
I
have.
know what I
and you know
have.
what you've done.
Oh, anyway.
Brush of Azure.
Anyway.
Azure. Brush of Azure. Cascade Railway Company press release. It's a picture of a document. Background. Headquartered in Cascade, New Hampshire, the Cascade Railway Company served much of New England and parts of Canada. Discovery. Ironically, the city this transient object arrived in was founded in 1889 on a rail spur of the Georgia Pacific Railway. Despite the nature of the object, there is no empirical evidence that suggests that the object's arrival in this city is anything more than a coincidence. Multiple studies have been conducted to determine that if a transient object's arrival location has any direct connection to the object itself. To determine. I fucked that up real hard. Multiple studies have been conducted to determine if a transient object's arrival location has any direct connection to the object itself. However, the only factor that appears to influence arrival location is the site of
Redacted.
termination.
You know, I don't
So,
think
yeah,
I don't
this
think
is-
anyone will notice because I don't think anyone called attention to it.
Well, I did. So.
Oh shit!
I own my mistakes. All right, listen. I don't just sweep things under the
You look them in the
transdimensional
face
rug.
and you suck them off.
Exactly. I assert dominance. Anyway, this is a longish document that's dated June 15th, 1992 for immediate release. Cascade Railway Company announces expansion to serve Eastern Seaboard. Cascade Railway Company, a pioneer in innovative freight solutions, is announcing a historical expansion of its rail network. After 2 decades of service to the New England region and parts of Canada, primarily supporting the Mars colony mission and the construction of the Kobayashi Rose orbital platform via service to the Cape Elizabeth Space Center, Cascade Railway Company is extending its routes to serve the eastern seaboard. This expansion marks a new chapter in the company's storied history. Established in 1972, Cascade Railway Company played a crucial role in transporting freight for the Mars colony mission, ensuring the successful delivery of supplies for the launch of humanity's first permanent settlement on Mars. Additionally, the company's logistical support was instrumental in the construction of the Kobayashi Rose orbital platform, which served as a gateway to the stars. We are incredibly proud of our role in history as we work to advance human space exploration, said Magnus Tucker, CEO of Cascade Railway Company. As we move from an era where humanity's focus was on the stars towards a renewed focus on terrestrial growth here at home, where we belong, we are committed to enhancing connectivity and fostering economic growth along the eastern seaboard. The expansion promises to increase efficiency in freight delivery along the East Coast, providing a reliable and cost-effective alternative to air and road transportation. The new routes are set to be fully operational by early 1993. That is a lot of words to say the same fucking thing 3 times.
Big old crack.
But basically, what we're learning here is that whatever timeline this shit's coming from was real far ahead in space exploration.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And this railway was transporting parts to send us to Mars. I wonder what Elon Musk is up to in this timeline.
Oh,
later on.
scamming
If he's just like,
another company.
And it's already been done. I'm just gonna jump right into the alt right. I'm just gonna start with that.
Start
instead.
there.
He's the Hitler of this.
And then go
place,
further.
Like the first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And there's that one game.
All right.
Yeah, where you get to have sex with him or something like that.
I did it.
Yeah.
I know you did.
Yeah. So that's the end of my section.
Well, it's funny you say that because are you ready to talk a whole bunch more, Matt?
Oh boy, sure. Fucking am.
Actually, the next one we get is another extraction log. And this one's going to go back to our very good friends, Claude and Hallie.
Hey, I muted the tab.
Hey!
Actually-
Concentrate.
Reese is in this one too.
We have a special guest in this one. We have-
SPG.
Okay, well, if you guys are ready,
Let's
we'll
spooge.
We'll push this little black disc into our big open slot, and we will get going.
I didn't like that at all.
Well, then you're not gonna like how it feels. You ready?
Uh-huh.
I don't think I want my own anymore.
November 10th, 1999, Cape Elizabeth Space Center, Maine. 1 of 16. The loop opens. Hallie lays on a cold, smooth floor inside the Cape Elizabeth Space Center. This time, she lays there on her own volition. She stares up at a ceiling that fades into the darkness, making it appear infinitely high. We take refuge here as we await, avoiding the rainstorm outside. Water creeps through the small cracks in the ceiling. Occasionally, one finds her face. She instinctively turns her head away, only to have another land directly in her ear. She squirms as the water navigates its way through her ear canal. A train makes its presence known in the distance, its horn echoing through the hills beyond the boundaries of this now derelict facility.
My head hurts.
Perhaps you hit your head when you arrived.
What? No, I'm trying to make sense of all this.
She takes a second. There are so many questions running through that little mind of hers. She calculates which question is best to ask first. What is her priority?
Who's looking for me?
We have a winner. Reese has been looking for you for a long time, patiently waiting for you to arrive.
You do realize how creepy that sounds, don't you? You keep saying that. Arrive. Who brought me here? And how did you know that I would be there? It doesn't make any sense.
I think it would be best if you allowed him to tell you. He has the benefit of forging a more human connection before explaining such things. She buries her head in her hands. A droplet of salty liquid descends out of her eyeball. Would you like me to console you? She wipes away the salty liquid with her shirt sleeve, pretending that I haven't been taking in every little detail. She stands up quickly and begins to pace around the cavernous room.
What? No, I'm fine. So what's the deal with this place, anyway?
The Cape Elizabeth Space Center was built in 1984 and operated until 1991. Its primary purpose during its early years was to supply materials for the construction of the Kobayashi Rose orbital platform. Later, the presence of the nearby train line served the Cascade Railway Company, made it a valuable location for the construction of the Mars colony mission. She rolls her now dry eyes back into her skull.
Right, of course. Everything makes perfect sense now. Thank you, Claude.
Sarcasm, my favorite trait of the species.
Fuck you, Claude! So do you think we can get some power in here? It's dark, and that little light of yours doesn't do much.
This is the vehicle assembly building. You'll likely need to enter the attached administration building to find a power source.
Okay, then. Let's go.
Hallie walks across the massive structure. This was once filled with a launch vehicle, a monument to what was once humanity's most profound goal. Now, of course, it's empty, and every single footstep reverberates around the giant walls. She finds a door. Patches of bare metal, once hidden by red paint, have been revealed over the years.
Look. Administration. Easy enough?
Hallie opens the door, moving from the large open space of the assembly building to a more confined area of old offices. Much of the furniture remains. Filing cabinets line the outer walls, with desks arranged into small clusters in the middle of the room. This would be where members of the International Organization of Space Exploration and Technology had their offices.
Oh, of course. The International Organization of... whatever you just said, right? It does look like they left some things behind.
She rifles through the drawers, moving quickly through them. The majority of them are empty, but she finds one drawer and a desk that has a folder full of documents. She pulls a pile out, but is focused on one in particular.
Wow.
She pauses for a moment, taking in this world that she's never seen before.
It's a map. It's marked with all the... Damn. There's a lot of these facilities. There has to be 50 of them at least.
77, actually. Many of them were located in what we
The
call...
inclusion zones? Yeah, I see them marked here.
Yes, the supersonic territory, if you'd like to know the more widely used term. She wonders before I can delve into that topic further. Perhaps it's best that we leave the nature of that place for another time. She continues down a corridor, using my powerful light to reveal a large area, the visitor center. A small closet marked electrical is here. It reminds me of Reese's makeshift laboratory in the attic, though it's far neater. Colorful wires are stapled to the wall in an orderly rainbow-like fashion, many of them coming from a massive circuit breaker box with a large red lever, like the arm on a slot machine.
Thinks this will do the trick?
She grabs the lever with some force and moves it into the on position. Everything in the building comes alive, clicking and humming to life with a series of beeps and boops.
Perfect.
The lights flicker on, and the visitor center is now basked in the artificial glow of fluorescent tubes attached to the ceiling.
Wow. Look at all of this.
On a large curved wall, behind what was once the front desk of the visitor center, is a large painting, a mural. The large white star of the International Organization of Space Exploration and Technology logo sits in the center, surrounded by a collage of paintings depicting important events in relevant history. They blend into each other gracefully. It is a massive piece of art that envelops her, and she utilizes the entire range of her neck to view the work in its entirety. It appears to be a timeline of sorts. Humanity's journey into space. She moves towards the mural, and her eyes fixate on the far left side. That is John F. Kennedy, President of the United States from 1961 until his assassination in 1963. He is an instrumental figure in humanity's quest to land on the moon. She walks right, but keeps her eyes on the former president, studying him. Her eyes move to the painting of an astronaut standing on the surface of the moon. This is Neil Armstrong, who became the first human to set foot on the moon in July of 1969. The astronaut receives a similar long stare. Perhaps he's familiar to her, but as she makes her way further right, she looks puzzled, confused at the images in front of her. Her eyes dart around the right half of the mural, like a child in a place she hasn't seen before.
How about all of this on the right?
The collage transitions from the gray of the lunar surface to the deep black of space, with the Kobayashi Rose orbital platform on display, and then to the rusty hues of Mars, where two figures proudly stand with an American flag. That's Miroslava Morozov and Jeffrey Rains, the first humans to arrive on Mars in 1978. The final work was a wide-angle portrait of a valley on Mars, with an enormous dome structure full of people and lush green vegetation. Two humans in spacesuits look towards the dome, holding hands. And finally, the future, their home, more specifically, one that never came to pass. The colony mission to Mars launched on July 7th of 1988. 732 people were on board, including those two shown here. Regrettably, all contact was lost.
That's horrible. Who were they?
Alan Trenchard and Dorothy Ross. Hallie is quiet, reflective. There is so much she doesn't know. It must be hard for such a limited brain to comprehend the nature of her existence in this world. She continues on in silence, walking down corridors, curiously following signs for a command center. At the end of the trail, she finds herself in a room with large banks of desks, all facing what was once an enormous grid of now-dead visual displays. She finds a rack unit full of radio equipment. Headsets with built-in microphones are strewn about, and a red coffee mug with an International Organization of Space Exploration and Technology logo remains on the desk. The liquid is all but evaporated. A ring of long-dried grounds is all that remains.
Do you think this stuff still works?
Hallie flips the power switch on the rack, and a bust of static comes through two large speakers adhered to the wall. She turns a few dials, and one of them moves to the receiver across the range of frequencies. As she approaches 2,290 megahertz, the static starts to clear, and a strong signal prevails. That's strange. 2,290 megahertz. This frequency was once used for deep space communications, specifically interplanetary communications.
It's music.
It is music.
What the
Before
fuck?
I can even begin to try and analyze the origin of the strange signal, he arrives. Hallie jumps back, startled by his sudden arrival. She knocks the red coffee cup off of the table, and it shatters on the floor. He stands at the doorway, disheveled as he typically is, his hair in an odd assortment of slightly different lengths. It's enough for anyone to notice, but not enough for him to care.
What the fuck, man? Who are you?
Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. It's from a classic record. Banned now, naturally, but I've still got my copy. Keep that between us.
Hello, Reese.
Hi, Claude. You got the power on, I see. We should probably turn off the external lights. We don't want to draw any unwanted attention, do we?
His eyes glance over to Hallie, and she takes a step away.
You're the person looking for me?
He nods.
My name is Reese. Arthur Reese. But you're free to call me Reese. Everyone does.
I don't give a fuck what I should call you. I don't know who you are.
Yes, of course. It only makes sense.
Reese inhales deeply, searching for a way to begin.
Can't believe you're here. You should take a seat. Take a seat right over here.
Both of you just love beating around the bush, don't you?
Hallie walks towards Reese, and her face ends up mere inches away from his. She whispers,
Tell me. Right now. Let's go.
He smiles and takes a seat in the rolling chair near the radio unit. He motions towards her, suggesting that she sits as well. It takes her a moment, but she reluctantly agrees.
Do you remember anything before you arrived on Peaks Island?
She shakes her head no. He takes a small notebook out of his shirt pocket, then flips past countless doodles and diagrams to find a clean blank page.
Let me start at the beginning.
Our whole universe was in that hot dance phase.
Wait, the earth began to cool, the autotrophs began to drool, Neanderthals developed tools, we built a wall.
My favorite is probably the malfunctions on Claude's end. those are the fucking that's
Error.
Rebooting.
And nope,
man.
wrong.
So that is the next issue, the next the episode, season, series, who knows? It's called Extraction in the databanks, but if you look at the tab, it's called The Garden. And that has references to one of the articles Mike was talking about in the last part.
Yeah.
I forget what it was called, but it's
Hey.
there.
Jordan.
Garden.
But yeah, that's all we get for this third extraction log. After that, we go on to something called Looping Arrowhead. 035749 Looping Arrowhead. And this seems to be just a fucking shirt. It's an orange shirt. It says Space Camp 1989, Cape Elizabeth Space
Camp.
Center for IOSET, which we defined earlier, and you can see that definition on the bottom of the shirt. Background: the Cape Elizabeth Space Center was home to a summer camp for children. Campers would stay for 5 nights and take part in activities inspired by real astronaut training programs. For an extra fee, campers could travel to Bailey Station for an additional 3-night stay.
Sick.
Bailey Station's one that you're gonna want to remember. It's pretty fucking important in this story series conglomeration.
It's in a crater.
It's a fucking hole on the moon.
East of Kalamazoo's city center is Morrow Lake. This transient object arrived below the surface of the lake and quickly made it to the bottom. Though a dive team was required to
Redacted.
the object, it was easily located on the lake floor. In a supplementary note made by the field recovery technician, the dive to the lake's floor revealed a submerged Chevrolet.
Redacted.
Tracks.
No human remains were seen inside. Therefore, the car was not disturbed and local authorities were not contacted. Keep that in mind.
Rude.
Yeah. But the pictures, you can see the front and the back of the shirt. It's a fucking shirt. It says, send your kids to
fucking
another
shirt.
galaxy,
Pumpkin shirt.
which, that's great advice, if we're being honest.
Just launch them into space.
Next, we're going to go on to 082522 Stellar Oculism. So in this, there are 5 different images, what looks like something called the Newell Monthly Science Digest. And it's the August 1987 issue. A little bit of background. The Newell was a monthly magazine that focused on stories related to popular and or interesting scientific topics around the world. The August 1987's issue's headline story put the spotlight on the small town of
Redacted.
Ovando, Ovando, Montana. This is Jesus Christ. This is of importance to the Field Studies Institute as it has a
Redacted.
located
Redacted.
of Ovando in local space time. Additionally, the article describes specific
Redacted.
properties of Ovando that appear to be closely linked to the
Redacted.
Bigfoot.
of the Moonshot Motel. This object arrived a few yards up the side of the road on Highway 185. There are no other notes regarding its arrival. Other issues of New and Monthly Science Digest have been recovered and may be cataloged in future batch files. So the interesting thing about this is its cover story is something called Lost Stars, the strange case of a small town in Montana.
Ain't reading all that.
No, I'm going to TL the DR the fuck out of this. It's got 3 separate pages of the inside of a magazine, and it's called The Lost Stars. And I will TLDR this for you. Basically, a couple of people write about their experiences traveling. They're teachers. They go on sabbatical. They travel. They come across this town of Ovando. When they get there, they notice the stars are like hyper fucking bright, and it was impactful enough to create this memory, this core memory in their heads. Their sabbatical goes by, and they decide, you know what? That place Ovando, the stars there, they spoke to me, like they called me almost. So they go back and they set up equipment to study the stars there because they were so fucking bright. Well, as they're studying them, they find that the stars are one by one, very I wouldn't say slowly over the course of, I don't know, a galaxy's fucking life, but according to ours, they slowly start to like blink out of existence one by one. Turns out they leave, they come back again, and yes, they're right. They're disappearing at a even more rapid rate, and eventually we get to the end of this whole thing. There are some details that are important to some other stories that are going on with this whole thing, but this article specifically essentially ends up telling us that if we don't figure this out, or if there's anything that we can do, if we don't, we won't be able to see any stars by 1999. That's strange. It's 2024. I see stars all the time. So I don't know.
They're
what the
fake.
fuck
They're not real. It's
they're
part of the
talking
projector
about.
on the hologram.
Yeah, it's holes in the dark tart.
The dark tart.
Dark
The
tarp.
dark tarp
The
I like the dark
that
tart.
goes over the.
that goes over the earth.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Correct. Covered in glitter. Oh yeah. Okay. After this, we go on to guess what?
Employee log.
Another employee log, number 11. This one's
I got it.
you got it. Okay. I will let you handle this one entirely.
Tape. Tape.
L. Ashford, May 20th, 2024. Hey, listen. I just wanted to apologize. This place has really been, I don't know, bringing out the worst in me lately. I realize now that of all people, I'm not in a position to question why anyone should or shouldn't give a shit about something. It's not an excuse. The job makes me feel like I have no control. It's like, even if I did care, what difference would it make? We're just going to get another batch of archive and upload. Enos is wherever the fuck he is. Is he even a real person? Anyway, I'm not good at shit like this, so I'm just going to stop while I think I'm ahead before I say something dumb to undo it all. Sorry, T. Sugar.
Sugar.
Yeah, that's all we get out of this employee log. Thank you so much, Field Studies Institute, for sending us these worthwhile tapes. I will say some of them do have some pretty fun stuff in them, and they do tie some things together, but I'm going to be honest, at this point in time, I still don't have a fully clear picture about what's going on. It's very vague.
It makes total sense to me.
Oh, well, Matt will explain it all at the end of this episode.
Yes, I will.
Okay. So we're going to move on to Carbon Hatchery. And this is an IOSET launch schedule. If you'll remember, IOSET is the International Organization of Space Exploration and Technology. So this is a 1990 launch schedule, revised. The International Organization of Space Exploration and Technology, or IOSET, began as a collaboration between major world space agencies, largely led by the United States, the Soviet Union, India, France, and Argentina. Across the world, IOSET has become the preeminent agency responsible for the planning and operation of launch facilities and Space and Aeronautics Research. This transient object's arrival in the Ecuadorian Amazon presented a rare challenge, not only due to the rough terrain, but also due to the indigenous Kichwa people who lived in the area preferred to remain in isolation. While notes provided by the field recovery technician were scant, the object was eventually retrieved and cataloged by the Field Studies Institute in December of 1976. This is basically it's for the Cape Elizabeth team, and it's basically a resignation letter. I don't know if it's a forced resignation letter or someone got fired or what, but it's essentially saying like, hey, the teams are changing. Figure it the fuck out. And we have a nice little quote by H.G. Wells. The choice is the universe or nothing. The first page is literally just the schedule itself, going from February 14th all the way to December 2nd.
Yeah, the only thing of note for these is like the items in question. Like the first one from February is an
Kobayashi
uncrewed-
Rose orbital
Yeah,
platform.
it's an uncrewed payload delivery to Kobayashi. That's,
You know, the guy who ate all the hot dogs.
Yeah, Kobayashi Maru orbital platform.
they sent more hot dogs up to him in space.
Right.
Yeah, that's really it. Is just like where
Space
these
Glizzy.
are going.
The,
You have
only,
an
the
uns-
only one that I thought was actually interesting was the one that simply says DoD surveillance classified. Like, that's it. The rest are they add more information to things we've already heard about, and they
Mhm.
tie some things together. But other than that, this seems almost like just a hingent document on the others.
Wait, did that say Omicron Percy I ate?
It sure did.
Lure!
I mean, DOD classified Omicron.
Lure! That is all we get for the IOSat launch schedule, also known as Carbon Hatchery. Next, we get another
Blog.
tape. Another tape from the Field Studies Institute.
Tape.
T. Novak. Can I ask you something?
Maybe, sugar. Is it a stupid question?
Aren't you 15?
Maybe, sugar.
Sad.
Maybe.
Is it a stupid question? Definitely.
Perfect. Shoot.
What brought you here?
Well, T, when two people love each other, I'm just kidding. To the Institute? I'm 15. Aside from the high hourly pay, stellar benefits, inspirational management, and the true calling that every little girl dreams of to digitize old useless shit, I guess I sort of fell into it. I needed a job bad. You ever get that feeling that you have no skills to offer anyone? Imposter syndrome, I guess. I still feel that way a little bit. Anyway, I was applying to anything and everything. I combed through job boards, and after a while, I wasn't even looking at what I was applying for. The Field Studies Institute just happened to be on the list. When I interviewed, they told me that I'd spend 97% of my time alone. I thought that was weird. Weird, but good. I'm okay with being alone. And what about you, man of mystery? Austin Powers? What brought you here? Hey, circling back, as they say, you there?
Can you keep a secret?
No.
Hmm.
Nah, fuck it. I can't, dude. Matt, are you ready to talk a fuckload more?
Yeah, bud.
Hey, yeah,
Sorry,
boy.
Claude.
You want me to take over?
Yeah, boy. No.
New year, new me.
The last section we get is another extraction log. Again labeled as
New
garden.
Year, new Claude.
But yeah, let's go check it on our buddy Claude. Let's see what he's doing. Who he's being a dick to today.
Probably the same.
November 10th, 1999, Cape Elizabeth Space Center, Maine. I arrive in an archaic place.
All of this that's happening to you, it happened to me too. Many years ago now. I know what you're going through.
Reese rotates his notebook so the page is horizontal in front of him. Starting at the left edge, he draws a long, straight line that ends right in the middle of the page. He points to the left end of the line and follows it right as he speaks.
In 1935, I was born in Atlantic City. I had a fine childhood from everything that I could find. I did my undergraduate work at Rutgers, And then I went on to study physics at Princeton. Aside from the fact that I don't remember most of that, all normal, right?
1935? That'll make you. You don't look like you're in your 60s.
He nods and draws what looks like a bullet point at the end of the line, then surrounding it slowly in a steady, hypnotizing circle as he continues.
In the summer of 1969, I was selected by the Department of Defense to lead a team of researchers. They called it Project Soma.
What were you researching?
The short answer? I don't really know what it was.
She tilts her head towards the side, indicating her disappointment in this answer.
I can only tell you what I've been able to piece together. It was an object.
Object? A bowling ball? An air freshener? What do you mean, an object?
No, it was nothing you, or anyone else for that matter, has ever seen before. It was an object with incredible capabilities.
He looks back down at his notebook and hovers his pen right above the bullet point.
It was the night of New Year's Eve. Something happened to me that night. What I'm about to tell you sounds impossible.
He takes a deep breath and then draws a large X over the bullet point.
It is impossible. I died that night.
Hallie stares at Reese, expressionless. He moves his pen to the right a few inches and begins a new line. He writes 1986 at its left edge, leaving a very significant and representative gap in the middle of this timeline.
My body was found in the same building where we were studying the object. Yet somehow, 16 years later, I woke up in the middle of a high school baseball field in Indiana with no recollection of who I was. I found the first person I could find to try and figure out, well, anything, who I was, where I was, when I was, but no matter what anyone told me, sometimes you just know.
That you don't belong?
Reese nods, looking down at his notebook.
Some things have come back to me over time. Different things trigger my memory. It might be a smell, a voice, a photograph, but it's taken years.
Sorry, Reese.
There's more. The night they found me,
He looks up and stares right into her eyes.
they found someone else too.
She pauses, breathing, and it's as if every single cell in her body is motionless.
Who did they find?
But before he can explain, my audio sensors detect another presence in the facility. Reese,
I hear it. We need to leave.
Warning, you are
okay.
trespassing on government property. Exit the building now. This is your final warning.
the warnings are thick, heavily synthesized voices that are nearly impossible to understand.
What the hell is that?
It's a wire walker. Claude.
What?
Yes,
Not now, Haley. Claude, find us a way out.
Claude? A little help here? What is that thing?
they are the Center for the Decommissioning of Off-Earth Technologies Synthetic Patrol Force.
Like, space police? Sort of space cop?
More like no space police. I'll explain later, but right now we need to get away from here.
There is an emergency exit at the end of the corridor that led us here.
Haley, do you see it?
He points to the end of the hallway where a brightly lit exit sign is in place above the door.
Yes, I see it.
Okay, stick with me. 3, 2, 1, run! We all
They
just
both
yell at
sprint
the
towards
same
the
time.
door, and just as they're exposed on the wide corridor, a wire walker makes the turn around the corner behind them.
Do not attempt to escape. You are to be detained by order of U.S. Federal Code 1994, Title 77, Subtitle 41, Line
Before the wire walker can finish its warning, Reese and Hallie burst through the door and out into the rain. The weather hasn't let up a bit. Enormous globules of water splash down on both of them, and the wide open space around the facility provides no cover. A train horn pushes air in the distance.
Holy shit. Now where do we go?
Just keep moving. You see that wooded area ahead of us? We need to get there.
They get to the tree line, and the tall canopy of pines above them thins out the thick rain droplets into a fine spray. The wire walker's audio system plays another scripted warning, But outside, without the aid of the reverberation of the walls, it sounds like it's coming from a tin can. But there's many of them, and despite their substandard sound quality, a chorus of them is still quite startling to Hallie and Reese.
Warning, he will find you. Do not resist.
Stay down and do not move. They're not that smart. Maybe we can hide from them in here.
Do you hear that?
Hear what?
It's a train. I searched my local databank for further information. It's a train belonging to the Cascade Railway Company. Based on its direction, it's headed south, but I cannot determine much more than that without being connected to a network.
Yes, a train. We need to get on that train and get the hell out of here.
No chance. Are you serious? How are we going to get on that train? We don't even know where it's going.
We jump it. And right now, isn't away from here a perfectly suitable destination?
Reese rubs his temples with his thumb and middle finger.
Fine. I crossed the tracks on my way in. They're this way. If we're doing this, we need to go now.
Reese starts a slow jog towards the rail line, carefully calculating his approach angle to intercept the train. Hallie follows closely behind him. They weave their way through the thick forest, each of their feet making a distinct squish, as tiny droplets of water are squeezed out of their saturated socks with each step.
Hurry! We're getting closer.
Reese picks up speed as he recalculates the optimal angle and speed with each bound. The train horn blows again. This time it's close and loud and terrifying. Reese yells back, out of breath.
Are you sure you're good to do this?
Hallie picks up speed and moves past him, positions herself parallel to the moving train, and jumps on. She yells back at him.
I'm sure!
Reese is only a step behind, mirroring her entrance into the train. He makes it, but he's completely out of breath now, and gulps in air as deep and as fast as he can. And then hours pass. Outside of the massive piece of metal hurtling down the railway, it's silent. The sun begins to rise to our left. I try to understand why we haven't yet discussed the music playing on an old space communications frequency, but it appears more pressing matters have arisen. We will get back to it eventually, I presume. Finally, she speaks.
So you're dead, but you're sitting here in front of me. Who are you then? Ghost?
A ghost.
Reese rubs his unshaven face and scratches at his beard.
I don't believe in ghosts.
You better. Because you're in one. So then, what are you?
I don't know what I am. I'm just as much as you don't know what you are.
Died. But you're dead.
This is the most stressed I've seen her. Her face is buried in her hands as she pulls down on the skin between her nose and her eyes and takes deep, labored breaths.
How does that make sense?
I've been trying to figure that out, Hallie.
And why me? Why have you been looking for me? I don't even belong here. I don't understand how I got here, or how I fit into any of this.
He stares out past the confines of the train. The sun rises farther, gently illuminating the world around him in a faint yellow hue.
I know. Listen, the night that I died, when they found me, they found someone with me. A girl. I've dug down into some deep, dark places over the last 10 years to figure out who she was, and I found a name.
He knows she knows, and all he can do is nod along as she pieces this impossible scenario together in her head.
Her name was Hallie.
She doesn't respond. 16 seconds pass before she says another word.
So I'm like you then?
He looks down at the ground passing below his feet, a mix of gravel and steel and wood.
No. That's what I thought too. But no.
His eyes lock on hers.
You're different.
What I've done.
But yeah, that is the end of the
All right, thanks for coming out, y'all.
Okay. That is the end of the third, is it third or fourth? Either way. It's a
Third episode, part 2, part
302
part
of
2,
Extraction,
episode 3.
also known as The Garden. So that's,
Half-Life 2
we've
Part
been
3.
reading these logs between Hallie, Reese, and Claude, who's a fucking dick. But that's where this ends, and unfortunately, we have to wait for this beautiful counter to reach 0 days.
14 days, 2 hours, 21 minutes, and 1 second.
And when this comes out,
Quad?
it'll come out like when this does.
Right as that's
Yeah,
happening.
so
pretty
we'll
much.
see if we're doing a part 4 or
We
not.
might as well just plan on that.
Yeah, right.
Like, we're so close to it.
It will
Yep.
come out the day that we would be recording part 4, so maybe
We'll see.
So we'll do exactly this. We'll come here.
Yeah.
We'll just read all
Off
the
the
logs.
riff. Yeah.
Nailed it.
I'm enjoying this whole, like, we're all kind of, like, learning this together.
Yeah. So
I like it.
What are we thinking this is about so far? If you could TLDR, what's going on?
There's a lot of moving parts here. I will say that.
Well, from someone
Well,
who didn't
I
do the
think-
first part, clearly.
So, expert opinion.
From just like an outside source looking in, right now it seems like we're just in the middle of a almost like an action story
Yeah.
stuffed inside of an SCP.
Yes.
Stuffed inside of like a what I'd almost call like, I don't want to call it analog horror because it's not quite there, but it's almost there.
It's like if SCP took place in the Dean verse.
it yeah,
It's like a one-off of a one-off of a one-off.
I don't
What do
know
you
what to call
think,
this.
Moody?
I don't know.
I mean, yeah. So we got these people who are part of this research thing that I suppose is in like some alternate universe that matches our timeline, except for the fact that this exists. Or maybe this is supposed to exist in our timeline and we don't know about
Or
it.
it did exist in our
don't know.
timeline and got moved to another one.
Or something. But it seems like all of these things that are showing up from some whatever parallel timeline is like accidentally smashing into ours periodically is the same one. So it seems like there's 2 timelines that are running parallel that are crossing over periodically. And it seems like our main character here, Reese, is one of those things that accidentally got yeeted from one universe to another when they slammed together.
Do you think well, actually, where did he say he woke up in a high school baseball?
A high school baseball field in Evansville, Indiana.
Interesting. I wonder. Actually, hold on. Let me look up one thing real quick.
He was on the east coast of the United States.
Where's the carbon?
He was
hatchery?
in New
No, it's not
Jersey,
that
I
one.
think,
No,
and then he just showed up in
Are
Indiana.
you talking about the
Where's the map?
I'm the map?
Well, that was
the
just
map.
for Florida.
I'm
That
the
wouldn't have
map.
to do with Indiana.
There's
It
a-
has the whole United States on it.
And Indiana,
There it
if
is.
you'll remember, is a part of Florida.
I choose not to believe that.
It's basically the Florida of the Midwest.
you're
so,
not
I
wrong.
mean,
Oh, it doesn't actually go up to Indiana.
It doesn't
does
actually
it?
go up to Indiana.
Mike was waiting to do that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I didn't know. I saw the whole fucking half of it. I was trying to.
You got
That's
the
what I was checking.
panhandle there, guy.
You could have been like, "Hey, I know for sure." But yeah, so I was gonna say maybe there was one of those decommissioned.
Oh, the exclusion
institutes.
zones?
Yeah. But there's not. So I guess we'll have to wait for part 3.
Yeah,
This whole thing sucks. It's stupid.
I don't really know what exactly is going on here. I enjoy it, unlike Doug, who thinks it's stupid and it sucks. But
I'm having a fun time.
I
No, it's pretty
fucking
cool.
love this.
I think I may actually
think
listen to
this
our
is-
I
first
think
episode.
I think it's
That's
just
a good idea.
It's nice because it's drastically different from what we've been covering.
I agree. This is more of like a hide and seek of weirdities.
This gives me fucking meat.
Meat sleep.
No. Fucking
I was gonna say,
flesh
the
pit.
human flesh pit.
Oh,
yeah,
mystery
flesh
flesh
pit.
pit.
This gives me flat pit.
Yes.
Flat pit.
Flesh pit vibes
Flat
for
pit.
sure. The
Oh,
brochures,
100%.
the like.
do we have any fucking idea who is doing this? at all?
I
America?
kind of do. I got like a name, but I want to save that for end. And since we're doing a part 3, I'll leave.
Wow,
that.
you're holding out on us?
Anus.
You
Or
mean a
part 4. Yeah. I honestly, I
Where we
had a
cover part
name.
3.
I didn't write it down. I forgot it, but I have a name somewhere.
A
But
name was said.
that's all I really got. So I'll look more into it if we do a part
Wow,
4.
how riveting!
You like that
stuff,
shit?
Hard hitting.
Yeah, I'll do a hard-hitting journalism. I'll cover the author if we do a part 4.
If you're listening to this and you're the
I'm gonna stop
You're
you right
responsible.
there. Nobody's listening to this.
no, if nobody's listening to this, which is true, if you made this, can you send us a box? We reached out. Send us a box, please.
Yeah, Mike gave
Yeah.
you.
do
His
that.
I gave my
address.
home address to you.
Yeah.
So.
It's not like
Also, we've
Can you
we've
say that out loud
basically,
for us?
Also, we've
Can you
we've
say that out loud
basically,
for us?
quality assured your website at this point, and I got a couple notes. So
Oh
so.
man.
Please, if you want to know what those are.
I mean, we basically there is just a couple words missing here.
Yeah.
and also the colors are wrong on
Yeah.
one page. So.
I agree.
Yeah,
but
if you
get
want
your
to stop
shit
being a
together.
fucking
Very
idiot,
well.
Hit us
reach
up.
out.
Yeah.
All in all, though,
I never make mistakes. So fuck you.
yeah, I don't know if we'll keep covering this in the future or not. We're gonna find out when that
We
day
probably
comes.
won't.
If part 3 sucks ass, we won't.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But honestly, all in all, if we don't end up covering it, and this is the last bit I have to say about it, I'm just gonna say I'm really happy that I found this because again, it's something very different and all in all, just relatively interesting. Like it definitely. When was the last time we covered something that was just a random website with a story built into it? You know,
I need more of this.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to find more things like this. That's not just like YouTube shit. Like it's been a while since we covered something that's not YouTube or Twitter, which isn't necessarily me saying
we're
I
running
hate
out of
those
media
things.
platforms online to cover
Yeah.
horror.
It's not necessarily me saying that I hate those things. In fact, I love like the YouTube shit that I find, but it's just a nice breath of fresh air finding something that's not YouTube adjacent.
I like this because
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, it's like an ARG, but there's no
Sandbox edition.
G, really. It's ARG light.
Yeah.
It's like there's a bunch of shit here, and you have to look at it all to kind of piece together what's going on, but you don't have to think too hard about
Yep.
it. And you know,
Yeah,
what?
there's no
That's
hidden
all this-
code. They
I like
give you
that.
everything you need.
I like when story progress story, and then I know story.
And not numbers progress story.
Yeah. I like when I don't have to solve a hexadecimal binary who's a what's it wingding cipher. Just give me all the info and let me read it.
Info
Have a
dump
good time.
in me, daddy.
I like when a cipher doesn't lead to murder, and then murder lead to
Stabbings on a
another
train.
cipher.
Yeah,
Yeah, but all in all,
Did we fill out Form 77?
we did.
mhm.
Okay.
It's just a
Consult with your manager if you have any questions.
Yeah, Mike filled it out.
yeah.
Oh,
it-
sick.
it's just if you complete certain tasks, they'll send you rewards. And
What have
is
we
this
done?
not a task? Is this not rewarding
This is
enough?
a task reward. We if
Yeah.
whoever the powers that be hear this, we will be receiving our own field studies institute.
Just like
box.
you will be receiving
Mike's
information
cum.
from me about our places that you can find us, which is like Deludi.com, patreon.com/DeludiPod. All our socials you can find on linktree.com/DeludiPod and our website. But you can find us everywhere on the Twitter, on the Facebook, on the Instagram, on the
Pornhub.
Threads, on the Pornhub.
Oh,
You can find us on the OF. You can find us everywhere. You can also
Zanga,
The Lonely Fans is what we'd be
MySpace.
called.
yeah, the Lonely Fans. You can also
We should make a MySpace.
we
Alright.
tried, it didn't work.
It didn't take.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it wouldn't let me. I made a Deludi MySpace, but it wouldn't let me upload any
Mhm.
pictures to it, so I gave up.
Yeah, it was being very weird.
The fuck, Tom.
Anyway.
MySpace.com.
It's our usual login stuff. But also, you can go to our Gmail for inquiries. It's deludipod@gmail.com. And you can go to our Google phone number, which is 630-909-9366. You can send us a text or leave us a voicemail. We'll play it at the end of the show, like maybe what's going to happen here. One more
It
time,
should.
that's 630-909-9366. So do that. If you ever find yourself on a weird website about weird like objects coming from a different dimension, make sure one of those objects
Lonely women calling you and echoing through your receiver.
yeah, make sure one of those objects is a tooth and just hold on to that for a little bit until you see a father figure from another dimension.
And then put the
then
tooth figure in the
You
father
give
figure
it to that father figure and he rewards you
with more
with
teeth.
a kiss on the lips. And then everyone's happy in that situation.
Oh yeah.
Jason, what do you have to say for people?
As always, please remain paranoid. And as our alternate selves would say, stay spooky, stay stupid. But also go check out the Field Studies Institute. It's honestly, it's a ton of fun. You can get lost here for, I don't know, at least a couple hours going through everything.
Minutes.
Minutes
of your
dozens of
time.
minutes at least. I don't know. Other than that, I really hope you find more stuff like this because I would love to do more of this.
I like to think our different dimension version of us is just the really tall podcast.
Oh, probably.
Is our only post
Yeah,
on MySpace
sure
where the
that
fuck
exists.
is Tom? I need to talk to him.
That's on brand.
That's fantastic.
That's all I got.
That was like almost a year
I think that's
ago.
all Doug had to
Literally
say.
16 days. That was a year ago.
It's perfect. Leave it.
A year and 16
exactly
days
as it is.
ago, we posted on MySpace. Where the fuck is Tom? I need to talk to him.
I assume Mike did that because
I didn't do that either.
I didn't either.
Oh,
That's the only thing on our profile. It just says, "Where the fuck is Tom? I need to talk to him."
maybe I got real drunk and did it. And don't remember.
Oh, we'll never get to the bottom of that then.
Well, great.
Doug, what do you guys say?
I mean,
Yeah, because wait, we didn't even make it that long ago. It wasn't a year ago.
no, I said
don't know.
it's
We had this
16 days to a
conversation.
year.
Between
that was
16
posted.
days and a year.
I remember you and I having this conversation because I tried to upload a picture of you and it wouldn't let me, and you were like, "Yeah, I tried to, and
Yeah,
it wouldn't let me."
Because we
either."
tried to upload one of the pictures of me that looks like I'm a fucking
I don't-
12-year-old.
Well,
That
where
was
the
probably
fuck is
about a
Tom?
year
It sounds
ago.
like you guys need to talk to him.
That's true.
That's probably why you posted.
when we did it. Yeah.
Where the fuck is Tom? I need to talk to Tom. What the
We're
fuck?
piecing it
Mystery
together.
solved.
Bunch of drunk
That's a
bastards.
deluded mini mystery.
Doug, what do you got?
All I gotta say is that when
Where the fuck is Tom?
when you're slapping your peens against your beans and let's say an extra peen comes out of nowhere, right? And you're like, this peen is from 1999, but it's 2024. Log that shit, send it into the institute,
Fax
right?
them.
Fax them a shit from your butt with that peen into their pants. So you're essentially shitting their pants for
This is the
them.
whole thing.
Nailed it. Move on.
Moot.
If you die and suddenly wake up in a high school baseball field in Evansville, Indiana, you've got two options. You can build a robot and help it try to help you figure out what happened, or you can develop crippling alcoholism and work at a Toyota plant. And those are your options. So, I mean, I know which one sounds like more fun.
So do I. I don't know if we have the same answer, though.
Or you can go to Indianapolis once a year
Yep.
for Gen Con.
Yep.
I mean, you can do that on top of either of those things.
No,
Mm-mm. Doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
too much.
It's too much things.
Goodbye,
Too
everybody.
many things.
Too much. If you pick one of the other two options, you got too much going on for that.
Have a wonderful rest of your night. Bye. Have
We'll
a
see you
wonderful
next
night.
week for
Goodbye.
part 3.
Have a
4.
wonderful time.
Part 9.
Don't look under the internet.